you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
There we go. Good morning, Central Louisiana. Welcome to Talk Back on Tuesday, the 24th day of March. And as you can tell, there's a somber tone in my voice as Stephen Maxwell and I kick off this morning program with the news, the very sad news that many of you have probably already heard about the unfortunate and early passing of former Rapides Parish Sheriff William Earl Hilton. News reports throughout the community yesterday began trickling out that there had been an incident in the Hindston area. No names were released at that time, but there was a injury, a hit and run. The report said that there was a burglary gone bad. Later, a high-speed chase in the Hindston area that ended on Highway 28 West near the Walmart Cloverdale intersection on 28. And the subject was brought into custody. But again, no reports were given until later in the day. Word began trickling out that the victim in the incident was former Rapides Parish Sheriff William Earl Hilton. And it's been a sad day for all of us when it was finally reported that he had succumbed to his injuries. And as a result of that incident, passed away yesterday evening at the age of 80. And I know, Stephen, you were very busy trying to recover this, hear the stories from people around the area, inputs from leaders who were reaching out. An incredibly sad day in Rapides Parish.
I'm thinking in my, 15 years covering the news here, this might be one of the worst stories I've ever had to deal with or cover. This is still shocking. It's one of the most awful things I've heard. And I really feel for the family and, of course, the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office family. I mean, he's a staple in the community. One of the most well-known elected officials, law enforcement officers. Worked with him quite a bit back in my day at the TV station. And so always a nice person, great to work with, and incredibly sad and heartbroken, and just been praying for the family nonstop. It's awful.
I received the first notice of who it was. I received a call from Pineville Mayor Joe Bishop, who is a 30-year friend of William Earl Hilton. They ate together several times a week. Of course, they worked very closely together during Mayor Bishop's time as president of the police jury. The president of the police jury and a sheriff are the top two officials in any parish, and it's helpful when they have a close working relationship, which they did. And so Mayor Bishop actually called me from the hospital as a personal request for prayer. He asked, he wouldn't call in to tell me or inform. He simply was saying, please pray. And I did pray, and unfortunately the prayer was not answered the way that I desired it to be, because later got the news that Sheriff Hilton had passed away. We will be joined shortly by current Rapides Parish Sheriff Mark Wood, who I believe was hired by Rapides Parish Sheriff Hilton and who spoke with him every single day on the phone. He shared a little bit of those insights with local media, and I believe we'll receive a call in a little bit by Pineville Mayor Joe Bishop, who had that relationship as well. I want to share this story while we're waiting for it. This is a very nice story in the Rapides Parish Journal. The title is Former Rapides Parish Sheriff William Earl Hilton, The Long Shadow of a Legend. This is written by Rich Dupree for the Rapides Parish Journal. It says it wasn't supposed to end like this. After 50 years of service in law enforcement, the life of retired Rapides Parish Sheriff William Earl Hilton would end in an apparent hit-and-run incident at his home in Hindston on Monday. The outpouring of love, prayers, and condolences for the family of Sheriff Hilton speaks to the legacy of service the man many known by many simply as William Earl leaves behind, not just to the citizens of Rapides Parish, but across the state of Louisiana. The article goes on to comment he retired for a second time in 2020, having completed 50 years of service in law enforcement. First elected sheriff in 1992, he served 4 terms before retiring for the first time in 2008. And then 4 years later, in 2012, he would return to the most powerful position in Rapides Parish, elected in 2012 and again in 2015. He graduated from the LSU Basic Law Enforcement Academy, LSU Law Enforcement Institute, and began his law enforcement career in Rapides after 6 years in the National Guard. He was inducted to the Louisiana Justice Hall of Fame in 2006, and in his last year as sheriff in 2020, was inducted into the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame. So the article goes on to describe more things about him. It's a heartbreaking story, and I know those in media are trying to wrap their heads around it. The article does state that of all of his accomplishments he achieved in law enforcement, he'd like his dedication to school safety to be the highlight of his legacy. Quote, we were one of the first department in the state to put an officer in every school. He said, if I'm remembered for anything, that's what I'd like to be remembered for, said Sheriff Hilton. And the legacy of his tenure at Rapides Parish Sheriff will be marked by long-term service, successful resolution of complex cases, leadership in youth and community programs, and statewide recognition that leaves a long shadow of legacy in law enforcement. That's the report from the Rapides Parish Journal. And we are honored this morning to be joined by the current Sheriff of Rapides Parish, Mark Wood. Good morning, Sheriff. I'm sorry to have to see you on a day like today.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, it's a sad day for Rapides. I promise you.
Well, I don't know if there's anyone more beloved in the parish than everybody knew him as William Earl. I mean,
right.
he was just the kind of man that you probably saw him flustered. I never saw him flustered. He always seemed to be in control of himself, the room that he was in, the situation. He always had a cool, calm response to. And I know this community is absolutely devastated. And your community, specifically the law enforcement community, I'm sure there's a lot of tears have been shed in the last 24 hours.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, I've gotten calls from all over the state.
Yeah.
Sheriffs, ex-sheriffs, police officers, just anybody that he touched. And I can promise you, it's a long list of folks that he has touched in his service to this parish. And almost 50 years, that's a long span.
That's incredible.
And, back when I was a little boy, his dad was a constable. Uncle Tom's what we called him. And he was the law in Ward 5 where I grew up. And my oldest sister went to school with the sheriff. And, I've known Sheriff Hilton since I was a little kid,
Well, first elected in 1992. That's an age ago. That's a long time ago.
That's right.
And faithful service. Of course, some National Guard before that. I think some people probably didn't realize he'd served in the National Guard before that. Beautiful family. I know his wife is got to be devastated, but I also can imagine that the support she's receiving is overwhelming as well.
Oh yeah, this is when you pull together, and I can promise you, in her area and her family are tonight a little bit, and of course they're planning everything. Sheriff Hilton was very meticulous, and I heard Shane telling his mom, "I got to go get in the safe because Dad's got all this laid out exactly what he wants." So,
well, I can imagine it's going to be hard finding a venue large enough to accommodate the crowds that are going to want to pay respects.
God, yes, of course, he's had offers from the Brother Mangum reached out for the POA, different places, and the mayor called about the riverfront because I told Shane, I said, you're gonna need a big place.
Absolutely,
big place.
Go ahead. I want to go to the whenever you heard everything that happened. I know it had to be tough for you. How are you guys handling this? Because it's got to be something completely different.
Yes, it was totally when we got the call and Shane reached out and he called me and I didn't quite understand. I'm thinking he had a wreck, and as we progressed and I got to thinking what he said, I called him back and he really didn't know he was en route to his dad, and we found out he'd been ran over. And so I called my wife, who was right down the road right there she and her sister ran over because, we're family friends.
Yeah.
And so folks from the community poured in. It didn't take just a second for the word to get out. And so everybody was there, supporting our sheriff.
I don't want to give excess attention to the person who did this, but the law enforcement response was quick, and they were captured soon. Correct?
Yes. And I will tell this, that once a cop, always a cop. So when the boss seen something, drove up on something that wasn't right, got his phone out, took a picture of it. That's what give us a head start.
Wow.
Had the license plate, the vehicle. So it didn't take long. We got after it, and it surfaced, and the chase pursued, and got shut down in front of Walmart on 28th.
Are you guys able to release any more details on how this happened, why this happened?
It will come, Stephen. It will come. We're all up in the middle. I was just on the phone with my detectives. There's certain things we got to do. They was up late last night running search warrants, doing what they do. And, this one, like I said yesterday, it's definitely personal. But we got to be very careful and make sure we do this by the book. We don't want no technicality in the future, changing something that Sheriff Hilton deserves justice. We're going to get it.
A lot of reports have put out yesterday with the name and a picture of the supposed person. We did see a report in the inmate section that there is a very high bond. So we understand that process will work through. I can imagine, though, it would be hard to find a venue in Rapides Parish. I mean, every single judge would have known him, every lawyer. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that this thing is tried in another venue. Is that?
Yeah, that would probably be something that's going to be sought after, and you're right about that. And like I said, Sheriff Hilton was well known in Rapides, surrounding parishes. I mean, I constantly run into folks from Avoyelles and Grant and different parishes that still talk about the sheriff. He would call me. He'd telling me that somebody needed some help or whatever. He said, I just don't know why they don't call you. I said, well, Sheriff, you're still the sheriff to them, and they know you. And so they know you can reach out and get them some help wherever they need to go.
We're so glad that you took the time to come in. We need to take this bottom of the hour break. Can you stick around a little bit longer?
Yes,
talk
sir.
about his impact on you personally and on Rapides Parish. Back with more from Rapides Parish Sheriff Mark Wood about Sheriff William Earl Hilton right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money. The positive sentiment sent stocks soaring, with the Dow jumping 631 points. But that optimism is fading this morning as the war continues to drag on. Stock futures are seeing small losses. Meantime, United Airlines is embarking on the biggest upgrade to its fleet in its history. The carrier will add more than 250 planes by 2028. United is doubling down on premium travelers and is betting demand for higher-end flying will remain resilient. Carriers are adding more luxurious seats and amenities to capture higher-spending flyers. And FedEx is part
Welcome back to Talk Back for Tuesday, the 24th day of March, a sad day in Rapides Parish, as we're joined by Rapides Parish Sheriff Mark Wood discussing the life and legacy of Rapides Parish Sheriff, longtime Sheriff William Earl Hilton, who passed away yesterday. Sheriff Wood, and there will be many more stories told as the days come and,
Sure.
and the legacy continues to be pointed out. But I went into the break asking you his impact on you personally.
Oh, I mean, it's huge. And I can remember, like I said, I've known Sheriff Hilton since I was a kid. And, you know, this law enforcement stuff is like you're a pastor. I believe it's a calling. And when I got that urge and whatever led me there, which I think was the good Lord, in 1999, I called him and asked him, hey, you know, what I need, you know, how about a job? So he called me. He said, well, meet me at DC3. He had just built it not long behind the Coke plant. And we ate lunch there and together. And I went to work. He hired me and took off from there. And, you know, just watching him over the years. And I can remember in the 70s, I graduated in 78. I was in Lafayette. I sold insurance for a while when I got out of school. And I think this was 79. And I was eating at a buffet at a Best Western restaurant down there. It was real good. And I looked, and Sheriff Hilton, Herman Walters, who's passed now, they were partners, detectives. And there was a friend of mine that was arrested for armed robbery. He was offshore, and they went and got him. And things like that you remember, you know, it was so cool. And, you know, it just led me to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite memory or time with him that you can?
Oh my God, so many of them. We hunted together. We both had that same passion to hunt, and you know, just it's going to be hard because just about every year, you know, we'd go over to the camp and cook and have good times, and we'd go off. We've hunted in Colorado to, you know.
You ever hunt in Mexico with him?
Oh yes,
I know he loved to get
Oh
down there.
yes, he was a hunter. He was a good shot. And, you know, I talked to him yesterday morning and, look, Sheriff Hilton, every morning, 4:00, he's up.
Wow.
And, he knows I'm more of a 6:30 kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, he likes to call me early to, and he
Who
called
needs
me.
an alarm clock?
Yes. He said, you up? I say, yes, sir. I'm up. I'm rolling. So,
I am now.
but that was him. I mean, he didn't need much sleep.
Yeah.
He said, I'll sleep when I die. And he was quite a man.
Absolutely. We're going to be joined on the phone this morning by Mayor Joe Bishop of Pineville. Mayor Bishop, is that you?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Sheriff.
Thank
Morning.
you. Thank you for calling in. I had reached out to you as well. You're the one that reached out to me yesterday asking for prayer in the situation early on. And I know you also had a long friendship with Sheriff Hilton. Thank you for calling in this morning and sharing your thoughts with the Hilton family.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself and Sheriff Hilton and also Sheriff Wood, we go back several years and stuff. When I was on the police jury, me and Mark and Sheriff Hilton, we go eat lunch almost every other day. And during them rides around, Mark would be driving us around. Me and the sheriff would pick on Mark, and Mike Jones would be with us. And we had some great times. But I'm going to tell you something. Sheriff Hilton, he loved the citizens of Rapides Parish. He done so much, y'all, here in Central Louisiana with the Shrine Circus, you know, the rebuilding of the Rapides Parish Coliseum, the senior day for the fair for all the senior citizens. Mark was involved in getting all the plants together and stuff, and Sheriff made sure this took place for the seniors because they look forward to this each and every year.
Well, and that's something that will long time be a legacy in his life. I remember many, many times taking my children to the Shrine Circus and seeing him down there with those Cracker Jacks, those boxes of Cracker
Absolutely.
Jacks, giving away bicycles and just showing his love for the community.
You know, for years, him and Miss Billy would do the hospitality room for the Shriners.
They did.
Well, and next thing I know, he eases me into that. He was ready to give it up. So me and my wife do it now. Joe's helped us do that. But, you know, you think about what all he's done. Joe touched on just a little bit, but our SRO program. He had the foresight years ago to see the need for this, and he presented to the citizens of Rapides Parish, and they said yes, we need this, and he put us ahead of the curveball. God, who would have ever thought we'd have to have guards in schools? He's seen that, and that's the kind of man he was.
Well, and he had, like you say, the vision to do that when today people are scrambling trying to come up with solutions. And do you remember what year roughly that was brought about? Was that in the late 90s or early 2000s? It's been a while.
Yes, it has. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking early 2000s. I do remember this. We didn't make we don't make a lot of money now anyway, a police officer, but I can remember getting that raise, man. And my wife was so happy. It made my day. And that's all because of Sheriff Hilton.
Mayor Bishop, I know that when you were president of the police jury, you had to have a good relationship with the sheriff. I say you had to. It was very helpful to have that close relationship because in many emergency situations, those are the top two officials in the parish.
Absolutely. William Earl and I always had a positive working relationship. The same thing with Sheriff Wood and stuff. And I'd laugh. I'd get, like Mark, I'd get them 5 a.m. phone calls from him. He says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, just waiting on you to call me, okay?" and my wife would say, "Joe, it's okay to tell people you're sleeping." I said, "But my phone, when you're elected official and dedicated like William Earl Hilton, your phone stays right beside you, okay? You never turn it off, okay? You might turn it on vibrate when you go into a church or a facility like that. But we're here to answer the calls for the citizens of Pineville and Rapides Parish. And William Earl was a very professional sheriff. No matter what parish I went to through the Police Jury Association, everybody's like, "What's William Earl doing now? Still chasing them hogs?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely right." But,
so much appreciate you calling in, Mayor Bishop. Any final thought you want to share about Sheriff Hilton?
Well, like Mark was saying, we're looking for a venue, and Mark, I've reached out to Craig Smith, the president of the police jury, about, the Coliseum, because William Earl's going to flood that place with citizens that love the Hilton family. And our thoughts and prayers are with them. And if they need anything, please feel to reach out. May God bless each and every one of us.
Thank you, Pineville Mayor Joe Bishop. Appreciates you. We'll come back with one final segment with Sheriff Mark Wood right after this.
KSYL. This is Dr.
And he would definitely believe people need that second chance. Like, and that I mean, he taught me, and Renaissance was one of them. And he loved working with the youth. He loved, trying to get and like I was telling you a while ago, he would give you a whole new twist or look on something that you didn't see. And helping young people was one of them. It didn't matter if you was black, white, pink, purple. It didn't matter to him. If he could help you, he was there for you.
I know that a lot of people will owe their start in law enforcement to him hiring them.
You bet. And that's what I touched on a little bit yesterday, including me, and a lot of folks that have retired from this department or are at this department. They owe it to him. And I'll be the first one to tell you I owe him. And I wouldn't be where I'm at. It wouldn't be for him.
I don't know much about his family outside of his wife and his son, Shane. Can you tell us a little bit about his family?
Yeah, I mean, he had one grandson, Slade, and he thought the world of that boy. And his daughter, Christy, who was married to Bubba Dunn, and everybody knows Bubba.
There you go.
He was a famous bull rider from Central Louisiana. And, they just good, solid family. And just like everybody else in Rapides Parish, just lived their lives to the fullest, the best they could. And, he was very proud of them. I mean, like I said, wasn't long ago, Slade decided he wanted to get into bull riding. And I said, I think the sheriff took him to a school over in Texas and he said, I don't know about that boy, Mark. He said, I think he maybe broke his leg or something. Oh, no. And I said, well, Sheriff, just hang on. Maybe he'll find an easier career, but he supported him and tried to get him all the help he could to do that.
Yeah. Well, of course, we know his son Shane there at Clico, a very successful career and very, what an impact this Hilton family has had on Rapides Parish. Again, the memorial will be an overwhelming thing. I'm sure other agencies will be offering their support to the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office.
They have been pouring in. And my phone, last night I was answering texts up into the night, phone calls returning. Departments, sheriffs, ex-sheriffs have reached out. Of course, you saw the statement by our senators. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be something, and it's my prayers, and I hope everybody prays for Miss Billy and this family to get them through it. They shared their husband, their father, with this parish for 50 years, and he poured his heart and soul into it.
And that is the other side of public service, where the family makes as much of a sacrifice, if not more.
Yeah. Well, you miss the ball games, you miss the parties, and that's part of law enforcement. And they sacrificed him for us, and the things that he took our department from nothing to left me a beautiful department to take it on forward. And that's what he told me. He said, Mark, you take this and go with it. And I'm trying to do that.
It had to feel incredibly gratifying to have his endorsement.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, there was, I think it was 6 of us, 7 maybe ran from the department.
That's a bunch.
And he didn't give it to nobody. And about 3 days in, he walked in my office and he said, are you still thinking about running? I said, yes, sir, I am. He said, well, I'm going to be with you.
Wow.
And I knew then that was that last nod from up above. Okay, let's go. This is what you need to do. And because, to be honest with you, you had to have him. That's the political or the politics, whatever you want to call it. But you had to have Sheriff Hilton. He has a following. He had a following, has a following, and he had to be with you. That was it. And he with his help, all the help, other people, but they got us across the finish line.
A man of faith, a man of family, a man of values.
Oh God,
a man who will be missed.
But nobody realized how religious he was, and he was in church. He went to a little Homewood church. That was Miss Billy and them's church. Matter of fact, Miss Billy's dad, Mr. Dan Gunner, and them may have been the charter members.
Wow.
They got that thing going. It's right over by the POA off Rapides.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he still went to church. Brother Jimmy Coots is the pastor. We was up at the hospital all yesterday evening with him. And that was his church.
A man unaffected by success who stayed true to his values. We'll be honoring him. Sheriff Wood, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank y'all for honoring my boss.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sheriff Mark Wood talking about beloved Sheriff William Earl Hilton. We'll be back with more after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
The world once needed lots of paper made right here in central Louisiana. Now we're making a comeback with clean methanol. Beaver Lake Renewable Energy will turn Louisiana wood into fuel, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs and giving loggers a steady market again. It's not just a plant, it's a promise to our land, our people, and our future. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting central Louisiana back on the map.
It's springtime in Cenla and time to explore. Feeling adventurous? Go biking or hiking in the National Forest or camping at the many recreation areas that offer canoeing, kayaking, boating, and fishing. Fun for the whole family. Check out the animals at the zoo, on a petting farm, or at a drive-through safari. Love golf? Then hit the links. And for those with a taste for freshness, don't miss our farmers market. Visit explorelouisiana.com to plan your trip today. Want more ideas? Go to alexandriapinevillela.com.
If you've ever wanted to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and didn't know where to start, Janney King Gulf Coast has already built the foundation for you. With guaranteed initial customers, hands-on training, and ongoing local support, you'll never feel like you're doing it alone, because you won't be. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn their dreams into real successful businesses. Take the next step. Discover a business built for you at JaneyKingCleans.com.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with
Welcome back to Talk Back, where the mood has been somber this morning as we've been discussing the passing of Rapides Parish Sheriff William Earl Hilton. But we also will make a transition now because we have the opportunity to visit with Wilbert Carmouche from Travel of Oils Parish. And Wilbert, you're making your monthly trip up to the city to talk to us about what's going on in the parish.
Absolutely. And you say that when you said coming to the city, that reminds me many years ago when we used to have to go to our relatives, and I said, have to go to our relatives in New Orleans, Oh, and she'd always say, oh, the people from the country are coming. And I was like, that always grated a little bit. But she was a gracious hostess. And but of course we were coming to the city, but it was nice to come back to the country.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I made my first trip to Le Petit Affair the last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, how wonderful.
Had such a wonderful time.
Mm-hmm.
The
Great.
owner was incredible, staff incredible. That will definitely be a place we'll go back to. And then we made our way over to Bunkie, and we went and got gas at the gas station there, had the gentleman pump our gas for us. And then we spent a couple of hours in the antique store right next door and spent too much money. Yeah, man, I wouldn't have known about these folks if you hadn't come in and told us about it.
Great. Then I'm doing my job.
Absolutely.
I need to record this and play this over to my board on next Monday.
Absolutely.
But yes, wonderful experience. I'm glad you did. Did you go for dinner or lunch?
We went for lunch.
For lunch.
Yeah, went for lunch. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a group of looked like lawyers there from the courthouse. We're having lunch there, and a couple others. But again, the staff, the owner took his time to visit with us. And
absolutely.
The lady who waited on us, she made her recommendations on things, and everything was spot on. That was a great experience.
Great. And I know Stephen has met him before too.
Oh yeah, Roy.
Mm-hmm. He does a wonderful job, and he'll explain everything that you're you're eating or where the ingredient was gotten from.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Locally sourced ingredients. That was great.
Yes. And then was the snow cone shop open yet when you went? Right next door?
I didn't see it.
It was
No.
probably cold still when he
It's
went.
open. It's open now.
Okay.
They have I forgot the name of it. Something snow cone.
Okay.
And it's in that old gas station
Okay.
that is
Yeah.
right next door. So they have snowballs and like little fast food nachos and stuff. And, it's a
Well-
good compliment because you walk out of La Petite and you can go get a Bluebell ice cream cone. So really
That
top
sounds good right now.
top it off, or run and get that Bluebell and put it on your bread pudding.
Well, we
over at the cafe.
we did have the bread pudding, but when we went to Bunkie, we had the ice cream banana split there.
Yes.
A homemade banana split that my wife and I split together. And it was kind of like, throwback in the day. We went on a date. It was fantastic.
That's right, especially if you could have sat at the little soda bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
We had a table out by the little alcove.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was-
absolutely. Then you can watch the
Exactly.
as they watch the people pass by. It's a wonderful
It
opportunity.
really was great.
Great. It brings you back a little bit. And another thing that'll bring you back a little bit are our Easter weekend events. Falls Parish is the egg knocking capital of the world.
Knock, knock.
Louisiana Proclamation. So on April 4th, we're going to have two events, and that's not this Saturday, but the next. Easter on the Red at Ben Ruth Recreational Park and Parking on the Bayou in Cottonport.
Mhm.
Both of those events are on April 4th, starts around 11 in the morning. And then on Sunday morning, we have Parking on the Square of Falls Parish Courthouse Square. Registration's at 8:30, and that knocking event starts at 9.
Is that kind of like the official pock knocking event on the square at the courthouse? Or they're all official?
They all call
Okay,
themselves
very-
official, okay? And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I noticed they spelled it differently.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
some is French,
Right.
some is the English side. So it's knocking, pocking, parquaying. So whatever you want to call it, we just ask that you come. We're going to be dedicating a marker, commemorating and recognizing Falls Parish as the egg knocking capital of the world in Cottonport at 10 o'clock on April 4th. Bringing us to Resurrection and Renewal Art Show, sponsored by the Falls Arts Gallery on the Square and the Falls Arts Council. That is April 9th, starts at 5 and goes to 7. I'm working with Mylika Harrington, our executive director, on that as my project. And what we're doing there is asking all of the churches in the area or artists in the area that have anything that they have painted or sculpted or written in reference to on the spiritual side to bring them in and let us display it for them for the month of April.
Very nice.
On the 9th, we're going to have a reception from 5 to 7. We have the Falls Men's Choir that is going to sing. We have St. John the Baptist Church Choir that's going to sing. We have spoken word, poetry. So it'll be a real nice event right there at Gallery on the Square, which is at 122 East Mark Street. Free reception and free to come in. And if you happen not to be able to make it that afternoon, it's going to be open from 10 to 4 Monday through Friday. That you can come in and view the exhibit as well. A youth fishing rodeo sponsored by Grand Coat National Wildlife Refuge, and that is April 11th from 7 in the morning to noon. Registration time has passed, but we invite all spectators to come and watch the youth have fun fishing in a little rodeo type tournament. Just come there, catch a fish, bring your fish home if they're keepers, if they're the size that you can keep. So for more information, you can call them at 253-4238. Springtime Market and Community Garage Sale over at Big Bend Museum and Louisiana 451. The Big Bend Museum is acting as the hub for that, so that's where the market will be. And all along 451, 28 miles from Mooresville all the way to Hamburg, and the loop is at the museum is at the midway point. If anyone wants to do a garage sale on that day, on that or highway, they are more than welcome.
When music is playing, so you got about 30 seconds.
Casless Community Health Fair, Casless Gymnasium, April 16th, and of course, the Outdoor TV Show, April 25th at Paragon. So it's traveloboils.com for all of this information.
Traveloboils.com. If you can hear me over the music, go visit. Find out what's happening in the parish. Thank you, Wilbur Carbush, for being our guest today.
My pleasure.
Back with hour number 2 after the top of the hour news. Thank you all for being with us today on Talk Back.
You've been listening to Talk Back. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin at the airports where lines are longer than ever, with Congress still stalled on ending the partial government shutdown that's denying TSA workers their paychecks. Correspondent Skylar Henry is at Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
Travelers that we spoke with, they were in line for 4, 5, maybe even 6 hours. Some even forced to rebook, trying to figure out how to navigate these lines as well. We should point out ICE agents are here. They are here to assist what the Trump administration says as it relates to crowd control and the like.
Democrats in Washington are still balking at funding for the Department of Homeland Security. President Trump is urging Republicans not to budge until they approve his Voting Rights Act. Iran has fired a barrage of missiles at Israel. Officials say they hit Tel Aviv after President Trump reported strong talks with Iran to end the war. Correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is at the foreign desk.
Sources tell us that senior members of Iran's regime, and remember, some of the most experienced and powerful have been killed. The ones that are left are fighting like mad about what to do next, to talk, to stand firm, or to even up the pressure on the world's oil supply until America is desperate to make concessions.
The Senate has confirmed the president's pick for Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen.
The yeas are 54, the nays are 37, and the motion is agreed to.
He'll succeed Kristi Noem, who came under heavy criticism for ICE operations in Minnesota. Free speech concerns at Boston University after it removed Israeli flags and pride flags from campus buildings.
The university says the flags broke its rule against hanging displays that could suggest the school endorses them. BU and many other schools have adopted neutrality policies since the campus protests over the war in Gaza. These BU students say removing the flags was wrong.
Especially for a school that touts themselves as being an open and accepting space for all students. I think it's really important for people to be able to express their political beliefs in an institution.
The university says its neutrality policy is not singling out any specific communities. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A quadruple amputee cornhole champion is facing murder charges. The Charles County, Maryland Sheriff's Office says he killed a passenger in the front seat of his car while he was driving, as the two argued. CBS's Chanel Call.
A gun enthusiast, Weber posted videos to his personal YouTube channel showing him loading and firing several shots from a handgun. Investigators say it's another skill he's mastered.
Afghanistan's leader says Colorado researcher Dennis Coyle, who'd been held there for more than a year, has just been released. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. more. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Weight loss drugs are creating big waves for a British institution, fish and chips.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. The sound of frying chips, French fries to us Americans, but think big, soggy, greasy fries smothered in salt and vinegar and landing like lead weights in your stomach. Yum. But this once mighty feature of British dinner tables, now under threat. Thanks a lot, Wegovy and Manjaro.
Every time the phone rings, we hope it's an order. We can't get any.
Potato farmer Andy Goodacre is sitting on 600 tons of unsold potatoes, thanks to those weight loss jabs.
Everyone's eating smaller portions. They put less on their plate.
Falling consumer demand and a bumper potato crop have created a perfect storm of unsold spuds.
Talk about a fighter. Lindsey Vonn's just posted video showing off her progress 5 weeks after a dramatic crash on the slopes at the Winter Olympics. The Alpine racing champ doing her first set of post-op pull-ups. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. A proposed bill would live stream East Baton Rouge Parish family court proceedings. Representative Kathy Edmondson says she's proposing a bill to bring transparency to the court. She says she's aware of privacy concerns involving children, and she would likely amend her bill to protect juveniles.
The only complaint I've had is that people don't want their business put out to the general public. So we're looking at still audio, video, but it won't be open access to the general public.
The House approved a bill to name a new Mississippi River bridge after President Trump. The state is looking at building a bridge south of Baton Rouge in Iberville Parish with a $3 billion price tag. Livonia Representative Jeremy Lacombe says if naming the bridge after the president helps bring home the federal dollars to build it, he's all for it.
We need this bridge more than anything. We need the bridge for hurricane evacuations. We need the bridge so that our people can have a way of life. We need the bridge for economic security. We need the bridge in a whole host of issues.
LRN. If you're an Entergy Louisiana customer, you will soon have 3 new ways to take a load off the power grid and save yourself some money.
Entergy Louisiana will soon launch 3 demand response programs to save residential customers money as they conserve energy. Nika Scott, the Vice President of Customer Service at Entergy Louisiana, says there are incentives for installing smart thermostats and those who have solar panels, as well as for those who charge EVs at home.
We'll incentivize electric vehicle owners to charge at off-peak hours and give them an extra $7 a month.
Scott says these programs will take a load off the grid and can ultimately reduce carbon emissions.
If we have these demand response programs, we may not have to build another gas power plant.
I'm Andrew Greenstein.
Diesel prices have reached an average of $5 per gallon in Louisiana, up from $3.25 a month ago. Regular gasoline is averaging $3.59 per gallon today, up from $2.52 a month ago. That's according to AAA. Prices typically rise in the summer months, but the situation in Iran has intensified the spike in prices. LRN.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Good morning. Partly sunny skies on our Tuesday. It is going to be a little on the warm side, but a nice day. Afternoon highs near 82. We'll see winds out of the east at about 5 during the afternoon hours. Partly cloudy tonight down to 58. And then for Wednesday, a little warmer yet. Sunny skies, 85 for the afternoon high. This great weather stays with us now through Monday of next week. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Talk Back on this Tuesday, the 24th day of the 3rd month. I'm going to get that out here in a second. We're delighted this morning to be joined in the studio by a couple of guests from LSUA, Louisiana State University at Alexandria, Alicia Farrington, the Director of Continuing Education for LSUA, and Rafael Romero, the Dean of the College of Business, are here. Good morning. How are y'all?
Morning. Great.
Good.
Morning.
Beautiful spring morning.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we're delighted to have you in this morning to talk about all things LSUA. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that did go on. And last time y'all were in here, we were talking about the AI Summit, which was just this past Friday, if I'm not mistaken. How did that go?
Went really well. We were very excited. We had such a great turnout. We had over 200 people attended. Our goal was about 100 to 125, and we definitely surpassed that. Everybody was happy. We had great feedback, great keynote speakers. I mean, we had everything from just starting with ChatGPT and Gemini all the way up to creating AI videos. So it really was a great programming, very enjoyable.
Yeah, so that's good to hear the response. I'm sure did you do any type of feedback where people could give you some feedback? Have you already processed some of that?
We have been looking at that, and it was just all positive. Everybody wanting more. One of the things that I learned specifically is how fast AI is changing. It's so rapidly changing. You could continuously have classes and people would be learning something new every day, it seems like. So that was a big feedback. Please offer more classes. So yeah, it was great.
It is hard to keep up with too, but you guys seem to be on top of it. You have the AI degree that y'all came out with, a couple months ago or last year, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
In computer science, and we have a minor in AI, and we're working on a business concentration as well. But it was so exciting to see how the community is embracing the change, and it's acknowledging that it's here and it's not going anywhere. And so there's a lot of energy and good vibes around it. I was pleasantly surprised of the amount of participation that we got. This AI Summit was prepared around a hands-on approach. And so folks got to practice and learn how to use different tools. And I think it was very neat. Even the advanced people, I think, left with the sense of, I didn't think of how to use it this way or that way. So it was great. It was phenomenal. And the continuing education team is incredible. And everybody around it just, made sure that everybody had a world-class experience.
Well, that will probably help you formulate future offerings as well as you see what people are interested in. And maybe, do you see this happening more often, or is it still going to be just like once a semester or once a year? Or is the demand there for more opportunities?
It's definitely there for more opportunities. I think it let us gauge exactly what the community wanted, because our breakout sessions are 45 minutes. Well, 45 minutes is not long enough. You get a taste of it, but we really realized that definitely you could do a series over a longer amount of time where you focus on different agents and different types of the AI. But yeah, it really opened our eyes like, okay, this is a good area that we could focus on. And because it's changing, you could continuously change the classes, because it's not like something where you learn one skill, and once it's learned, and you can't. You have to keep up in what you offer and go into more detail. So it did open our eyes to some of the areas that we could really offer in AI. So that is really exciting for us.
Alicia, if you could pull that mic just a little bit closer, that would be helpful. I imagine that brings some opportunities for, since you work in continuing education, your workload just got a little busier.
Yes, well, the AI Summit was real busy, but yes, it did. And it is good reading the feedback, and it gave us an idea. And we have great faculty on campus at LSUA that could help just kick it off quickly and help us get a gauge of what their skill set is. So that's the good thing, is that since LSUA has been working hard on developing their AI concentrations, we already have a lot of the knowledge that we need on campus to start creating classes pretty soon.
And if I may add, do yourself a favor right now to all your listeners. Go to Facebook and follow Continuing Education, because they have a tremendous lineup coming up. And if you are the type of person that wants to have the in-person interaction, that is the place to go. They have so many cool things happening, and I highly encourage everybody. One of our colleagues is doing a
beekeeping. Ryan Richet, yes.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. You guys have what? Sourdough, did that pass? Or?
Yeah, no, sourdough's coming up. So in Continuing Ed, we not only do we do the AI Summit, we also have a whole leisure learning area, and every week we offer, just about on every Tuesday and Thursday, we offer some type of leisure learning where it's beekeeping. We have some Italians, a student and one of our employees that teach you Italian cooking class tomorrow night. We have a pesto class.
And they all sell out.
All sell out within a day or two. Sometimes
That's awesome, yeah.
our pottery class sold out in like 15 minutes.
Boy.
So we've really been working very hard. We to offer classes that are not offered in the area, and we're always looking for instructors. Like we met with someone yesterday that does stuff with apothecary, and we talked about different classes she could offer. So we're always looking for people also to teach classes. But we really feel like the leisure learning is an area that Alexandria lacked having, exciting classes. But the cooking classes definitely have been our biggest hit. We've had pasta from scratch. We've had a Syrian appetizer class. We have a beekeeping, pottery. The list, we really keep it going. So just about every week we offer a leisure learning class.
Well, you got Stephen and me hooked when you said cooking. We'll come be the judges.
I'm about to say, yeah, I'll definitely eat, but
yeah.
Sourdough's a whole thing too.
Oh yeah, we have a whole series on that one coming up. We have, I think they're doing focaccia, regular bread, cinnamon rolls. Like it's a whole series of classes. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
People treat it like a pet. It's like a whole process. Yeah.
It's the starter. I hear. I have
yeah.
starter. I think our instructor, her starters from like Paris. So
wow.
Yeah, and so she brings all the tools. So everybody's excited about getting a new starter.
Oh, crazy!
I don't know a lot about it, but.
Well, I'm so glad you suggested that we follow. I just did just now the continuing education LSUA. Lots of great information there, and I see all those pictures. I don't see Stephen in the pictures of the AI Summit, so I know next time that's happening, I'm just going to go and say I'm Stephen Maxwell. So
okay,
for free.
Yeah. I was trying. It's one of those busy news days. I wish I could.
We had to throw you under the bus just a little bit.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, trust me. If I could just do that all day, I would do it sometimes.
Well, and I know we have more than that to talk about, but what would you say were the biggest key takeaways from the program?
I think people are, again, not afraid to try things. One of the panelists spoke about how Louisiana was one of the lowest states in terms of using AI. But that also speaks to the amount of opportunity that's out there. With AI, you just don't know how many problems you can solve out there. So what a great time to launch a business right now, right? Where you can use something, for free and create something incredible. I think companies are already using AI in optimizing their operations. So I think they welcomed other ideas or suggestions how to maximize the usage. I think there were a couple of sessions about creating agents and having the agents do some of the work for you. And that is a new trend. And I think it's getting even better. So now if you're listening and you tried AI maybe a year ago and it was intimidating and it probably didn't give you the results that you wanted, I would invite you to try again now.
Well, a year ago, it may have seemed like a parlor toy. This is a trick that one trick pony, but there's so much more. I will tell you, I'm incredibly intrigued by the agents. And I keep seeing this ad for Fixer, an email client that will monitor your emails and respond and all that. And since I've got about 30,000 unread emails in my Gmail inbox, I'm thinking about giving it a try. So
absolutely.
Delete all those unread messages.
Just delete them, huh?
You just don't need.
Well, most of them are subscriptions and newsletters and, whatnot. So, but I got to go through and find the ones that really are real. So, okay. Not a good thing, not a good look for me to have confessed that, but confession is good for the soul. So as we talk about continuing education, you have some youth camps coming up that I think folks might find interesting as summer quickly approaches, thankfully.
So we have a high school camp this year that's brand new on aviation. So they'll be exploring our aviation degree area, and it's strictly for high school students. They have to be starting the 9th grade through the 12th grade. So we're very excited about that. We've partnered with AEX, Millionaire, and Gulf Coast to really give them an idea of if aviation is an area they want to go into. So we're very excited about that. We're having a girls STEM camp. The aviation is June 14th. Our STEM camp for girls is the first week of June. Then we're doing a robotics, coding, and drone camp. We're doing a small cooking camp that looks we're kind of using the people that have taught our international classes, and we're going to make it for 5th through 8th graders. And then we have a regular summer camp called CAPS that's coming in July. We'll be posting all of those on our Facebook page. Those usually sell out pretty quickly, but they're fun. The camps are a lot of fun.
I'm looking now at the Aviation Summer Camp, June 15th to the 19th. It says dive into the action with a daily flight simulation lab, ace your drone training, and then take off on a discovery flight with Gulf Coast Aviation, explore the skies with an AEX tour, complete with an air traffic controller tower visit, and in guest speakers. That sounds, I can't imagine a high schooler that might be interested in the aviation. That is a phenomenal opportunity.
Yeah, it is really. Just the experience of being immersed into the whole aviation world. This is an opportunity they don't really get to. In Leadership Sunlight, we visited AEX, and that was everybody's, even as adults, getting to go to the tower was one of their favorite things to do. So I'm sure the high school students will really like it. So we're excited. That program, I think, has about 5 spots left.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm going to send this to my wife for my son.
There you go.
We've been talking about his future. He's a sophomore, so looking at this would be a perfect opportunity for him. I'm so glad you came in and told me about this.
Yeah, we also have a Future Nurses program that we're getting ready to post. That is actually free, and it's through our LSUA nursing program in HOSA. They offer a free 1-week camp the first week of July for students who are interested in being nurses. It's also a high school program, but that's actually a free program that LSUA received a grant for. So that'll be posted up there later today. So we are excited about that. But yeah, we really stay busy with these programs. We host the local school districts robotics competition. So we really, youth is a big part of continuing ed for us too. Yeah. We do a lot of different things. Back to the aviation, they'll get their FFA drone certification during the aviation camp, and that's the area in continuing ed. We will be offering that certification for adults and other people later on in the summer, so that's something we're building on.
Well, that makes your teenager hireable immediately with that FAA certification. That's great. We need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something happening tomorrow that I think is a big deal for LSUA, and I'll just tease you by saying you want to hear about it. Back with more with LSUA right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel. Right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit BeaverLakeRenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
My mother told me about Pro Carpet and duct cleaning when the twins were so sick with allergies and pollen, and boy, did it help, and lowered our utility bill. And we almost have no dust in our house.
You know, 50% of all illness is caused by indoor air. 9 out of 10 systems fail because of dirt and dust. Doesn't your family deserve clean air?
For a cleaner, healthier home, call 445-4818. That's 445-4818. If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back to Talkback. We are joined this morning by Alicia Farrington, the director of LSUA Continuing Education, and Rafael Romero, dean of the College of Business. And I'm going to come back to Rafael in a moment, but I want to well, I say I want to come back. When I said Rafael Romero, I thought I was already going into a
That's
Spanish
pretty
thing.
good. That's pretty good.
Thank you. very
Rolling
much.
your R's pretty good.
I'm trying. So from Nicaragua, right?
That's right.
We'll come back to that. But before we get to it, tomorrow, March the 25th, is LSU and LSUA Giving Day. It happens on Wednesday, March the 25th, and this is an opportunity for people to actually double their gift on this day. So tell us just a little bit about Giving Day.
You know, off the air, we were talking about Dr. Correll's retirement. Nobody wants to talk about that, right? And we're still in denial. But, you know, Dr. Correll's done an amazing job at LSUA, and he's built a really good team. But universities are a reflection of their community. You know, and we've been so blessed of all the support that we've gotten over the years from all our partners. So tomorrow is a really unique day that allows everyone in Central Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, to support the fastest growing university in the state. And so you can donate $1, or you can donate, you know, whatever you can. You just go to lsuafoundation.org. And they take everything but cash. They take Cash App, but so there's no excuse there. But it is a tremendous support for our scholarship, for our students, and just helping the university grow. And all those monies get poured in back into LSUA. Our LSUA Foundation is tremendously professional, and they always have the right vision in where those monies need to be spent.
Well, and what's crazy is an anonymous donor has said they would match every gift up to $75,000. So that means you double your impact by giving tomorrow. That's right. Got to give tomorrow. Don't do it today. Wait till midnight tonight. Get up at 4 o'clock, like our previous guest talked about, and do it then, and be a part of this amazing opportunity to further the mission and vision of LSUA.
I think the Martin Family Success Center is shows how much giving there is toward LSUA. It's such a beautiful center that's been built, and the great donations. And when we had the opening of it, all the people who donated was there, and it shows you where the money really goes to. It really improves our campus and provides a better quality of education for our community.
Well, LSUAfoundation.org is a great place to go to get information about the vision, the mission. You can find out about the Coughlin Hall Giving Tree, the Legacy Oaks program. You can even get you some merch through the LSUA Foundation apparel shop. So great opportunity there to participate in Giving Day tomorrow. We were talking during the break as well about other things coming up. This fall, you're going to be offering something that I think people could be very interested in, a Spanish conversation course. So tell us a little bit about that, Alicia.
And that course is being offered in correlation with our Spanish 1000 course for students. So they'll be immersed in a regular classroom and work with the students. It really will help them improve their Spanish conversation. It is offered on Monday, Wednesdays from 10 to 11. I believe that was the time. And it's really an opportunity to learn Spanish from the bottom up and have active participation with our students and our instructor on campus.
So tell me again, it's offered one day a week?
Monday and Wednesday on campus at LSUA, and then Friday is a hybrid day.
Okay.
So they'll work online. So it will be as a traditional college class, and they will take this class at the same time as our students.
Do y'all have a Spanish degree or a minor, or is this just one of the opportunities that people have, especially looking at how much Spanish speaking is becoming a part of our culture?
It's just one of our classes we offer, and we really wanted to find a way to offer, because I've had lots of people ask for Spanish classes, and it's really difficult to find someone who can teach the class. So this was a great opportunity to use the resources that we already have on campus and to allow our community to take Spanish at a low cost and be able to actively engage in conversations, which I think is so important.
So we were talking about learning another language, and one of the areas I think that could be useful where AI, I wonder, could AI be useful in learning another language? And Rafael, you have some thoughts about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure every other foreign language app has an AI component to it. But I mean, I think a simple strategy would be to download the ChatGPT app on your phone and activate the voice and having that conversation with ChatGPT. You can create an agent, right? And you can actually train the agent based on your learning style. And and then you can give it some parameters there to correct your pronunciation, to your sentence structure, and to give you exercises. And you spend 15-20 minutes a day. Consistency compounds, right? And it's a phenomenal way of having a conversation.
Yeah, that's really a curious idea. Those who are beginners could use AI, but those who are perhaps somewhat fluent but want to improve, you're challenging me to, I'm gonna do that, some homework, and see if I can improve my Spanish.
Yeah, and if you're like my wonderful wife who hasn't had an opportunity to learn Spanish, this is all my fault. But now you have glasses that you can wear, and if you do a live translation, I'm gonna have to get her some. We're going to Spain soon, but the technology's out there.
Are those the Meta glasses or
Meta glasses?
Okay, yeah. I've heard of those. There are also some AI headphones that you can wear. Not AI headphones, translation earbuds that you can wear, and it will basically translate into English whatever language it hears around you. I'm looking into that. We're making a trip to Colombia coming up in this summer. We have 2 children adopted from Colombia over a dozen years ago, and unfortunately they've lost their Spanish speaking ability. And you said blame it on you. I can blame it on me because I didn't enforce it at home. And
me too.
I'm trying to figure out how to maximize their trip experience instead of me translating everything for them. So the Meta glasses were very intriguing as well, but they're a little bit pricey, aren't they?
They are, and everything tends to, once it scales, the price tends to go down. So there are affordable options out there, but you also have your phone.
Right.
I remember going to Thailand and not knowing the language at all, and hopping into an Uber and just typed in Google, "Hey Google, can you say this in this language?" And the phone spoke. I mean, this was several years ago, so I think it's a perfect time to learn something that you've always wanted to learn. Like if you're doing powerlifting, right?
Yeah.
You can just put the phone and activate the camera on ChatGPT and have it be your trainer and tell you, hey, you need to fix your posture this way or that way.
Or do what Steven does every morning and take a picture and say, which outfit should I wear?
Sometimes I'm too lazy to do that too, so I just throw something on. Yeah, exactly.
Well, great.
I just use it as my doctor, which you probably should.
No, don't. Yeah, probably.
Should I do this?
Well, we're delighted to have Alicia Farrington and Rafael Romero from LSUA today. Thank y'all for coming in and sharing about the great things happening, and give our regards to Dr. Carell.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you all very much.
That wraps it up for this segment. We appreciate LSUA being a part of the program. We'll be back with open lines after this.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Investors this morning are back to worrying about rising oil prices and the war in the Middle East after stocks jumped yesterday on hopes about possible U.S.-Iran talks. Also getting some attention this morning, sources say Iran has started charging transit fees on some commercial vehicles passing through the Strait of Hormuz, basically creating an informal toll on the waterway. Spotify cutting about 3% of its workforce, including management, as it reshuffles podcasting. Nintendo cutting back production of the Switch 2 by about 30% after weaker than expected holiday demand. If you think you need a new router, you might want to buy one fast. The FCC banning imports of foreign-made consumer-grade routers because they pose a national security risk. There could be some exceptions. And forget about highway billboards. How about ads on the fridge? Wall Street Journal says Samsung is testing ads on some of its smart fridges in the U.S., along with a banner at the bottom of the screen showing news, weather, and a calendar. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
Thursday night, the Pelicans are on the road at Detroit as they take on the Pistons. Airtime 5:30. You can hear it right here on 94.7 ESPN.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I spent years living in fear of calcium oxalate crystal stones, always afraid of when the next one would hit. Now, I just take Kidney Cop.
Battling calcium oxalate stones? It's time to try Kidney Cop, a doctor-recommended kidney supplement that has been shown in laboratory tests to reduce the growth rate of calcium oxalate crystals by 99%. Get Kidney Cop today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
Good morning. Partly sunny skies on our Tuesday. It is going to be a little on the warm side, but a nice day. Afternoon highs near 82. We'll see winds out of the east at about 5 during the afternoon hours. Partly cloudy tonight down to 58. And then for Wednesday, a little warmer yet. Sunny skies, 85 for the afternoon high. This great weather stays with us now through Monday of next week. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
Welcome back to Talk Back. It's been a little bit of an eclectic morning.
Yeah.
We began with Sheriff Mark Wood, Rapides Parish Sheriff, talking about the unfortunate demise yesterday of longtime Rapides Parish Sheriff William Earl Hilton, and had the opportunity there to pay tribute to him, along with a phone call from Mayor Joe Bishop that tied into that, sharing those personal remarks. And then we had Wilbert Carmouche from Travel of Oils came in and visited about things happening in Of Oils Parish in this coming month. And then we just finished up a great segment with some folks from LSUA talking about the good happenings there. But now it's time to open up the phone lines for the final half hour of the show. And we're going to talk to you about what you want to talk about. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
Hey, did that lady say they were going to have a summer program for nursing?
She did.
Potential nursing students?
She did.
Yeah.
I think you would probably need to go to the LSUA Continuing Education on Facebook and look it up there. She did mention that.
Yeah. My wife and I were both LSUA nursing graduates.
Oh, wow.
Way back in 1975. But anyway, we have a grandson who's a junior in high school, and he was expressed some interest in going to nursing school. And he's a kind-hearted young man. I think he might do well at it. I have to look that up.
Yeah, that sounds. I'm sorry we didn't get you on while they were on the radio. They've already left the building, but thank you for that call, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to respond if you reach out to them. Again, through the LSUA Continuing Education Facebook page, they have a lot of great information there.
Yeah, okay, well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the call. Let's go to the next line. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I'm sorry, I got to go back to the somber stuff. My condolences to Sheriff Hilton's family, but I heard some disturbing statistics this morning on the Worldview in 5 minutes. In Nigeria, 32 Christians are murdered every day for their faith, just for being Christians. Another 32 are kidnapped, and unspeakable things are done to them. Few escape. But, it made me start to think about some things. Nigeria is an ancient civilization. They were won over to Christianity by the preaching of the gospel. And they were a predominantly Christian nation when in the 9th century, Islam came. Now, it didn't come through the sword like it did much of Africa. It came through trade. And the Nigerians originally welcomed the Islamic traders and even allowed them to move in and set up. And with their terrific birth rate, they had a birth rate 4 to 5 times greater than the native Nigerians. They began growing, and they now have 53% of the population is Muslim in Nigeria, and 43% is Christian, and the 1 or 2 other percent is something else. But they lived in peace for centuries until the numbers got to the right ratio, and now these people are suffering terribly, and the police won't do anything about it. The majority of people in government are still Christian, but they are either bought off or they're afraid for their lives, but they won't act against these Fulani herdsmen. And I thought about something I saw on Urbancast. The other day there was a post on the Facebook page for Urbancast that the Islamic call to prayer sounded in Alexandria recently, the Eid celebration, the ending of Ramadan or something like that. And that disturbs me. We have to think as a people what we are going to do about this. We don't want to wait until it's too late. Because Winston Churchill had a famous quote. He said, wherever Muslims are the minority, they fight vigorously for minority rights. And then once they're a majority, they are no longer interested in minority rights. There's a pattern we've seen over the centuries. And I'm not saying I know Muslim people. I delivered to Muslim people. They were very nice people. But it makes me think of what happened when those two boys threw those bombs a couple of weeks ago in New York. The bombs didn't go off. But one of the neighbors of one of the boys was this woman. She said, I'm shocked. I don't believe it. She said, he was such a nice man. He used to sweep the snow off my driveway for me. He and my son were best friends. I can't believe he would do something like that. And so we're in the early stages of this. And I don't know if we support President Trump with his moratorium on immigration from Muslim countries. Something I think needs to be done while there's still time for something to be done. I think if the immigration is slowed, I think the gospel will win in comparison, because I've heard former Muslims speak when they find the grace in Christ. My goodness, they are overwhelmed because they never hear of grace in their religion. It's all punishment if you don't act right. And so I think if the government does its job and protects America, I believe that this can be a great time of Muslims coming here and coming to faith in Christ. That's what the Nigerians thought when they originally welcomed them in, but things got out of hand. So anyways, I didn't mean to go on so long, but that ratio disturbed me. Those people, there's a story on there about a 14-year-old girl that was chained to a tree, and she was eventually left. They just left, and then people came and found the bodies and then found her still alive. They're trying to nurse her back to health, but it's horrible. So anyways, thanks for letting me speak my piece.
Hey, David, tell us again the resource you used. You said 5-minute news or 5-minute what?
The World View in 5 minutes. Okay. It's a Christian take on the world event, on current events. And today was about 7 minutes, but they usually keep it to within 5 to 8 minutes. Okay. And it's just headlines. They give resources. Thanks. Y'all have a great day.
I think too, we're hearing a lot of stories of younger people turning to Christianity. And so I think if that's what you're concerned about, I think there's some good news there too.
Yeah, he dropped off the line, but there are some interesting developments in that arena as well. We got to take a break. We'll come back. Another caller's on hold. We'll come back to you right after this break.
KSYL.
Starting a business shouldn't feel overwhelming. At Janikin Gulf Coast, we give you a clear, proven path to ownership. You receive guaranteed initial accounts, local support, and the training you need to succeed from day one. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn steady careers into thriving businesses, and you could be next. Start your journey today at JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
When buying a home or property, you have a choice for your real estate closing attorney. Fine Legal Services, LLC is a full-service title company offering residential and commercial real estate closings, title insurance, and more. Call your Alexandria, Louisiana attorneys, George Fine and Jeremy Cedars, at 318-767-2226 to learn more, or visit fine-lawyers.com. Let your realtor and lender know that you choose Fine Legal Services.
From America's #1 travel radio show, this is your RM World Travel Minutes. I'm Mary Carey. Thanks for joining me today. If you've booked a trip to Europe and you're thinking of renting a car and hitting the road, well, we've done that in several countries, and I have a few tips. First, have a pocket-sized atlas or map of the country's roads. Trust me on this one. The mapping app on your phone will also work, but getting real-time traffic and turn-by-turn directions, well, that's not going to work unless you're paying extra for a data plan, and it's going to use a lot of your data to run. So I'd recommend downloading the map offline so you have it when you need it. All of Europe uses the same set of road symbols. You can find them online. It'll take you just a few minutes to learn them. And remember, European countries use kilometers instead of miles. For gas stations, well, they are pretty similar to U.S. gas stations. Some stations you're going to pay at the pump, some you're going to pay inside. Just know that not all stations will accept U.S. cards, so make sure you have cash for your gas should you need it. And some stations will require you to enter your credit card's PIN number, so be aware of that. Let me know if you plan on hitting the road in Europe at rmworldtravel.com/contact. Happy travels, everyone.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
We welcome you back to Talkback, and we welcome the caller on the line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Well, I said something the other day that upset some people about what you should do to Muslims. And I know, but I don't hurt anyone. I don't even step on ants. But I want to tell you about something. Do y'all remember the Lebanese Christian wars? No.
I'm trying to think about the specific ones.
Lebanon was a Christian country, and they let a few Muslims in, and to be, whatever. And now they had so many Muslims. Now Muslims want the whole country. Now the whole country is Muslim, and it's a terrible place. Lebanon used to be called the Pearl of the Middle East. Now it's a terrible place. Well, there were several cultures in the Middle East. They had the Persians, and they had the Christians. You had the Syrians, and the Palestinians, and the Jews. Every one of them had been converted to Islam except Jews. They fought back, and so the reason the U.S. is over there right now because the Persians are trying to develop nuclear weapons, and they know. You see what they're doing? They're throwing these bombs at all their neighbors. They're threatening their neighbors, right. And the U.S. over there because they know. The U.S. knows Israel will use a nuclear weapon against Iran, and the U.S. is over there trying to prevent that. And so I don't understand the threat of Islam. You don't understand that threat. They're not there to assimilate. They're there to convert you or die, or you die. It just says convert or die, and they're serious about that. They don't proselytize like the other religions, like the Mormons. Islam is spread through violence.
Well, that does seem to have been much of the approach in many of the countries. You look at most of the Middle East prior to the introduction of Islam, right, 700 roughly, or 600s, whenever it was. Most of that region was predominantly Christian. Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq were predominantly Christian, perhaps from the Greek tradition or the Syriac tradition. But you're right, over the last millennia, the conversion rate to Islam, either through the sword or through the birth rate, has been extreme. And so I do believe that truth eventually wins in the end, and it doesn't always win as fast a pace as we would like. I personally don't know what I would have done during the Crusades when I would like to think that I would have been more of a pacifist, but many would say, well, no, you needed to go back and take back Jerusalem and the Holy Lands from the empire that conquered. But those converting to Christianity by the sword is no better, and that's not the route. Jesus said, "He who lives by the sword dies by the sword." So I don't know that the sword is the answer. I think truth is the answer. Sharing, living the truth is certainly a critical component of the Christian faith.
Well, the Jews have always been in the Middle East. Jerusalem is called Jerusalem for a reason. And so I support Israel unconditionally, and what they do to those people to stop Islam trying to take over Jerusalem or Israel, I support, and that's anything.
I keep waiting for someone to discover that the foundation stones of the temple are actually not under the Dome of the Rock, but they're somewhere maybe 100 yards to the north, and then it's going to allow them to build a new temple, and then we know what's going to happen then. In the end times description of things that many people hold to, we get a new temple and look out world.
Well, the best friend of Islam and all these terrorist groups, the best friend is Western liberals.
Well, interesting perspective there. I think that's, we have seen, I heard yesterday, someone was talking about how, one of the radio programs, how the liberals have embraced the things that have seemed to destroy traditional views. And maybe that's why they also will use the term progressive to describe themselves, because they are trying to progress beyond what they view to be oppressive viewpoints. Traditional family views have been called, what's the word, not paternalistic, but a patriarchy. And so those are things that some people chafe against. I think there's a proper balance with tradition, and hopefully we can find that.
We all have a great day.
You too. Always appreciate hearing from you. Good day to you. 318-442-8255, the BOM talk line. It is an open line until the top of the hour. We've talked about a lot of different things today. We would certainly welcome your phone calls as you reflect on Sheriff William Earl Hilton. We would love to hear from a new caller today, or more than one new caller, to give us your thoughts. Perhaps you had a story, an encounter with Sheriff William Earl Hilton that impacted your life that you could share with us. We'd love to hear those stories. 318-442-8255. There's going to be a process, Stephen, until we know the full arrangements, and I'm sure that's not going to happen quickly, but whenever we do hear that, we'll certainly let people know. And Sheriff Hilton deserves every honor coming his direction. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You want to talk back with Stephen and Nathan?
Hello.
Hi there.
I'm telling you, he was a really, really great man. He did a lot of good that nobody ever knew about.
Yes, ma'am. Tell us.
He was just one in a million. And I don't understand why he didn't just shoot her when he found her in his house. But it's a female, and I guess, I don't know why he slipped up, but it just doesn't make sense, because she had already robbed a house out in Pollock and destroyed it, just tore it up. And they were looking for her because she had done so much damage up there in that house when she robbed it and just tore it apart. Why did she go all the way out to Huntston from Pollock?
Well, that's a great, and you're giving information that I don't know about, so I appreciate you sharing that. Is that something you've heard firsthand, or for someone who has credible information?
It's someone I know firsthand, yes.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that. I'm sure that information is being given to law enforcement. I think these are the kinds of questions that we won't know the answers to until the investigating authorities get their hands around the whole story. It's certainly a tragedy.
I mean, it's a loss for our whole, not only our city, our parish, but our whole state, because he was a good man, and he didn't deserve this. Nobody does, but he certainly doesn't. He's been in law enforcement for over 50 years.
Absolutely.
He started out at the bottom,
right?
And he knew everything, and he had worked every detail, and he wouldn't ask anybody to do anything that he wouldn't do or hadn't done. He was just one in a million. And I know that Sheriff Wood is grieving today because that's one of his best friends also.
We can certainly tell you that Sheriff Wood has been deeply impacted by this. In his conversation with us this morning,
he's heartbroken.
It definitely. I even made a comment to him, I don't know how you're maintaining your professionalism in the midst of your personal loss, and he said that's what you have to do.
Yeah, he was at the hospital yesterday, and Sheriff Hilton went on to glory.
Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. We appreciate that very much. We need to take our final break of the hour, but thank you so much for calling in to share your thoughts about Sheriff Hilton.
Yeah, have a blessed day.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
I'm Blake Miguez, and I approve this message. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Blake Miguez. I'm a seventh-generation Louisianian. My family has been part of this state for centuries, built businesses, raised families, and lived by the values that make Louisiana, Louisiana. Conservative groups rated me the most conservative candidate in Louisiana's 5th congressional race. And President Trump gave my campaign his complete and total endorsement, calling me a MAGA warrior, because when he needs someone in Washington who will fight hard, he knows he can count on me. President Trump has counted on me. Louisiana has counted on me. I won't let either one down. I'm Blake Miguez, Trump's MAGA warrior. I'm ready for this fight, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Miguez for Louisiana. Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, Call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
What's good for lunch? Wilmore's is good for lunch. Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on the corner of North MacArthur and Bayou Rapides Road. Want a fresh, crisp, healthy salad? Wilmore's has them. Garden and chef salads, tuna or chicken salads. Prefer a sandwich for lunch? Then come get them hot or cold at Wilmore's. Ham, turkey, or roast beef subs, Italian, chicken, and club subs. And their hamburger is a real standout. Your good lunch is waiting at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on North MacArthur Drive at Bayou Rapides Road.
Now back to Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
We welcome you back to Talk Back. The final segment has arrived, and we have the opportunity to get your call in if you'd like to. 318-442-8255. That's the BOM talk line number. We've had some good calls this morning, had some calls that make us think, some calls that we may not agree with, and that's part of the process of Talk Back. We appreciate you calling in, and we appreciate BOM Bank sponsoring the Talk Back number. We have encouraged you to give us your thoughts on Sheriff William Earl Hilton. Stephen, did you have any personal interactions with him?
Just from a news standpoint, many interviews and working with them, always very kind, amicable, and always enjoyed working with them. So,
well, I was actually first commissioned as a Rapides Parish chaplain under his administration many years ago, and received that commission card and encouragement from him, and attended, a few death notifications and reached out to some deputies who had difficulties in situations. And then I was grateful that Sheriff Wood continued my commission, and I'm grateful to get to serve. But the fact that he would actually think that far, there was quite a few, he had quite a few volunteer chaplains. He felt like that was an important part of his service to his people. He didn't make a big deal about it, didn't make a big production, but he wanted his officers taken care of. And I definitely think that, you have personally talked many times about the safety of our children is the number one most single important thing we can do. He obviously had that perspective because he's the one who brought SROs. I could be mistaken, but I think Rapides Parish was the first parish in Louisiana to do it.
You might be right. Yeah.
So, and if somebody knows that, please call us at 318-442-8255. Let us know. But that was certainly forward thinking in any jurisdiction. So we'll certainly be keeping tabs on that. A great piece in the Rapides Parish Journal this morning, and we'll look forward to sharing information as we have it. Other things that are happening around the area as we kind of wrap up this week, I'm trying to look ahead at calendar things. We've got, of course, Easter's coming up next week. Rapides Parish schools have changed their vacation time just a little bit. Normally the Easter break was the week after Easter, but this year, this calendar year, the Easter break starts next Monday, March the 30th, on my birthday. So happy birthday to me. My kids get to stay home.
Very nice.
But so the kids would be out the week before Easter, and then they'll be out the Monday after Easter. So that's a significant change. My son's pretty excited because he's going to be doing his driving. He's in driving school right now, and then next week he'll be doing his actual in-car driving. And so I say, watch out, world. Another Martin on the road.
Well, good. I'm glad for him. It's an exciting time. I remember mine. I was so happy.
When you did driver's ed, did you have to go to a school for it, or was it done in school? How was that handled back then?
It was in school.
Yeah, so
after school.
We actually it was taught by coaches, and then our driving was done by coaches. And now you got to go pay like $500 to a school for them to do the education and the driving. And man, that's tough on folks to come up with that kind of change, to pay that out. And then your insurance triples.
Yeah, 100%. We always, because we had like a couple local schools in Allen Parish and Beauregard Parish, they kind of come together, and we had a coach from Elizabeth. He's since passed away, great guy. He would do all the driver's ed thing, and some of us would drive to Lake Charles, which is an hour, and some of us would drive to Alexandria, which is an hour the other way. And I was sent to Lake Charles, and I was freaking out about driving over the 210 bridge. I don't know if you know what that one is.
Oh,
but
did you hear about that bridge, that truck that went off the bridge?
I think it was the I-10 bridge, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the I-10 bridge. You
Yeah.
said the 210 bridge. Did you mean the I-10 bridge?
No, there's a 210 bridge.
On the loop? But
So are you talking about Lake Charles, right?
Yeah, Lake Charles. That's not the one with the revolvers in the...
The revolver's the I-10 bridge,
I-10,
which I don't even know how that's still structurally allowed. The 210 is the one that kind of bends.
Yes.
Over, you can see like
it's a big
LaBerge and
tall,
all that. So
That was scary to you compared to the I-10 bridge?
No, I just drove over the 210.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, for us back in the day, now, remember I'm from the Stone Ages, but in my driving days, you had to do the North Traffic Circle, the South Traffic Circle, and then you had to do the Murray Street Bridge, which doesn't exist anymore. It's very easy to see where it used to. When Main Street in Pineville used to go straight across. That was the Murray Street Bridge and tied into Murray Street. And there was paint scrapes on both sides of the railings because that was a narrow bridge. Imagine Jackson Street, Jackson Street between Hill Street and Texas, but just two lanes that narrow. That's how bad it was.
I think the I-10 bridge is the tallest in Louisiana. And probably the scariest.
Amazing that guy survived that fall from it in his truck this week. They'll be replacing it soon, hopefully. Well, that wraps up today's show. Come back tomorrow. You got Al and Steven. The professionals will be here along with the...
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour.